Hello and welcome to Worldcfmmusic. In this video, I'm going to go over some basic song service leader tips. Let's get started. Alright, so I know I've released song service tips in the past, but this specific video is going to be catered specifically for the song service leader role. Now, I think it's important to lay out, first of all, the purpose of the song service, and that is to usher in the presence of God, to prepare people's hearts for the preaching of the Word of God as well. And so, having these things in the right place for the church, the start of the church service is critical because it can heavily impact the remainder of the service. And so, all that to say that the song service, song leading is very important. And so, what I've done is I've been reaching out, I've been asking a lot of questions to some credible, experienced sources, pastors, friends of mine who have been in ministry, in song service ministry, song leading ministry for a while. Just reached out to them to try to get some wisdom, not only for myself, but wisdom to share with the rest of you all. And so what I've done is I've compiled this into probably a couple videos, and I'll be sharing that information in hopes that it'll help you in understanding and hopefully improving or guiding the song service leading role, all right? And so these are just some good qualities. Now, first thing to lay out when it comes to song service leading is what I've come to understand is there are two types of song leaders. There is what you could call the stage song leader and let's say the off-stage song leader. Now, the reason I say that is because every church has a designated song leader that sings on stage during the song service. But I've also come to know that there are song leaders who may not necessarily be at the forefront, but yet they help the song service build or grow, if you will. Sometimes it could be, a pastor's wife. She just knows music really well. And of course, we let the men lead the songs. And so she'll help because she understands music a lot better than, say, the song leader himself, or, just someone in the church who's very musically inclined. And so a lot of these tips are more catered toward the on-stage song service leader, but hopefully by all means you can glean from them, regardless of which type you are specifically of song leader. And so just some general guidelines, but let's get started with them, all right? The first thing that's important in being a song leader is, of course, you want to be someone who loves to worship God. Now, I know that sounds really simple, but it's something that, is very important, is you want to be someone who enjoys singing, who enjoys glorifying God, who enjoys clapping and lifting your hands, and just giving God praise during the song service. Whereas if you're someone who you can't stand singing, you don't like to be an active participant in song service, it's probably not a good idea for you to try to be a song leader. And so just a basic rule of thumb, it's important to love to worship God when it comes to leading a song service. People can recognize it. People can tell this person loves to worship God versus this guy, I'm not so sure, right? And so another thing is a song service leader must know how to lead. And I know this also sounds very basic, but it's very critical. You are the song service leader because you are leading the song service team and you are leading the church into an atmosphere where they want to worship God and prepare their hearts to hear from God. And so there are different elements to song leading, just some basic things that I've come across. Basic, practical things. It's important when leading a song service to know how to choose songs, understanding the balance of how many fast songs you're going to do, how many slow songs. And of course, you can run this by your pastor. We have a great example in the Prescott Church. Generally, it's 3 fast songs, 2 slow songs, some give and take there, but general rule of thumb. So it's important to know how to choose songs. Another thing is it's important to be able to communicate with your song service team. Just inform them of where we're going, adjustments that need to be made, so on and so forth, giving guidance, maybe volumes are a little off or whatever, communicating that to the sound team, just being able to lead in that aspect as well. And another thing that's involved in leading songs is during the actual song service is you're giving verbal cues to guide the church and your song service team as to where you're going. More so the church, because if you have a steady practice routine before the service starts, your song service team will know more or less the flow or the direction that you're going with each specific song. So one thing that I admire about a good song service leader is they tried to give cues as to where the song is going to go, but not over cue it, if you will, not saying every single line in the song for the church, just letting the church focus on singing the music and just giving them a general guidance. General rule of thumb is basically when you have a switch in a part of a song. If you're transitioning from a verse to a chorus, you'll say the first line of the chorus, or transitioning from a chorus to a bridge, you can say the first line of the bridge, or back to a verse.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, I will bow, and I will bow.
Just saying that first line, throwing it in there is generally plenty. People are smart, they understand more or less, especially if you've been singing the song for a long time. They know more or less how the song is going to go. But part of good leading is being able to guide the church in the direction that we're going with the actual song that's being sung. And so, and the other thing that's very important with song leading is to be musical. Not all song service leaders are musical, and this is part of the reason why in the beginning I said there are two types of song leaders. Some song leaders stand up and they are in that role in ministry and they're, singing the songs and giving the cues, and that's awesome, that's great. But they may not necessarily be heavily musically inclined, whereas there's someone kind of behind the scenes who helps in that aspect and giving, the musical side of things, giving direction. This is how we should play this portion of the song. But nonetheless, the more musical you are as a song leader, the better off you'll be. And so, knowing how to sing is very important when it comes to song leading. If you don't know how to sing, it can heavily impact the song service as a whole. And so you want to know how to sing. Another thing that's very important as a song leader is having a sense of rhythm or having a sense of timing, being able to hear the drum beat, being able to clap. If, there are some song service leaders, myself included, who play and sing, play an instrument and sing at the same time. I don't have the ability to clap my hands. So if you are, just a song leader that doesn't play an instrument, then you have that opportunity to guide people and show them how they should be clapping, because people will follow you as the song leader. All right. Another thing that's important from a musical standpoint is being able to enunciate or being able to sing clearly. A lot of times we rely on the visual cues. We have overhead projectors. If you use transparencies, that's awesome. But even though people have those resources, it's not always clear if they're a visitor or if it's a new song that's being sung. It's not always clear how the song should be sung. And so it's important as a song leader to be able to enunciate or sing the words clearly. Another important thing in song leading is there are some amazing singers many amazing singers in our fellowship, many amazing singers as song leaders in our fellowship. But one of the important things when it comes to singing as a song leader is not to oversing. One of the risks in having a really good voice or having a lot of experience or knowledge or talent in singing is that you can oversing and, doing runs or doing fills or jumping from the melody to the harmony. All of these things can be distractions to the rest of the church body. And so as a song leader, you want to try to stay as consistent as possible with the melody. From time to time, it's just hard not to veer off, but you don't want to take that out of control. You want to stay consistent with the melody of the song, consistent with the timing of the words when they're supposed to be sung. The more disciplined you are with that, the better help it will be for the rest of the church. Personal experience, I was raised in a very musical home, a lot of singing going on all the time, and part of that was there was an influence of runs, whether it's in bands or other ministries, concert ministry. But there, in my young song service leading experience, I habitually brought that in, if you will, and I realized very quickly that the church gravitates to that. If you do a specific run every single time, the church will think that that's normal. And so again, just to reiterate, it's very important just to stick to the basics of how the song is supposed to be sung. And another thing too, just to bring this first video to a close, is it's important to be excited as a song service leader. When you get up there, some people, it's easy for them to show the excitement. Other people, it's not as easy, but the more excited you are, it's contagious. We're not up there just to feel good, but we want people to know that it's exciting to be able to glorify God. It's exciting to be able to give God praise and thank Him for all that He's done in our lives, and for His love and His faithfulness, and for the precious gift of salvation that we have. And so being excited as a song service leader is important, and it's contagious. And so and the last thing when it comes to being musical is you want to sing in a key that is comfortable. Now, if you're singing songs that are way out of range, then one of the things that can happen is, you sound like you're screeching, and the church will try to follow you, but the church can hear how you're singing, or whether or not something is, in a comfortable range or not. And so just something to keep in mind is to sing songs that are comfortable. Now, if you're not sure, or if you have a grouping of songs and they're not comfortable to sing, I do want to guide you back to the transposing. I put out 2 transposing videos. It'd be a great resource just to go and take your songs. If they're too high, bring them back down, or if they're too low, you can bring the songs up to a higher key. But you want to be able to lead songs at a comfortable key. It's very important, all right? And so just some basic song service tips. Like I said, just some things that I have learned, just some information that I've been given. By no means is this me saying I know everything about song service. I ask a ton of questions to be able to bring this information to you. And so I hope this has helped you guys in a big way. And I'll release one more video with just some basic song service tips just to help you guys out. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me in the comments section below, or you can email me at worldcfmmusic@gmail.com. You can also visit the website for resources. That's www.worldcfmmusic.com. You're welcome to subscribe if you'd like. There's a bell icon if you want to be notified of future videos. But with that, we're going to bring it to a close. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next video.